I just actually had a moment. I just had a bit of a self-contextualizing moment. About 4 years ago, before I picked up a camera and started YouTube, I was working a pretty boring job. Back then, the thought of about to cross the starting line of the Targa Florio in my own car was, I can't even begin to tell you how much of a dream that was. So to be here now, and importantly share it with you, is massive. But ultimately, it's thanks to you guys watching and supporting this channel that this journey keeps going. So you're an audience of self-perpetuating awesomeness. So thank you very much for watching and getting us this far. It's very, very cool. I just had somewhat of a pinch myself moment that I'm trying to take in, but I like to share everything with you, so that's what's on my mind right now. So good morning and welcome to day one of the Targa Florio. Weirdly, day one doesn't really require much driving at all. We are driving from this venue here, which is essentially the registration car park, over to the main holding car park a little bit later. So as far as driving goes, not much happening. I haven't come all the way to Sicily with the TDF to not drive the TDF every day of the week. So today, me and Huck, my co-driver, who I shall introduce to you shortly, is going to be joining me, and we're going to go off and find our own little road trip as a sort of warm-up, as it were. Thankfully, we joined yesterday, meaning we don't have to get into that big queue over there in order to get our stickers. Speaking of stickers, compared to every other car in this lineup, my car's looking a little bit bare. So we're going to grab Huck, we're going to apply the stickers to the car, because we're now officially signed on as entrants of the Targa Florio. Casual 488 Spider there starting up next to us. And yeah, then we're going to take you for a bit of an immersive drive in the surrounding roads. But that requires me navigating my way out of Palermo first. I caught a taxi to get in here, and it's every man for himself. I'm actually mildly scared of taking the TDF in that traffic. Anyway, that's a conversation for when we hit it. Let's have a look around the TDF, apply the stickers, get on the road. Okay, let's just quickly take you down a brief walk through the lineup of cars. Now you'll notice there are cars from all over the world here. However, there is a disproportionate amount of UK cars, which is awesome, because it's always good to meet new people from the UK interested in cars, and more specifically Ferrari. A particular highlight for me is the 430 Scuderia. There's also some really interesting specs. You'll notice that everyone is going to town cleaning their cars, mostly because that they want them to look great, of course, for the start. However, we're also applying stickers, so the surface has to be squeaky clean. This is the first proper big boy car I've seen. Amazing to have an Enzo on this trip. What a scene it's going to be able to tail this car in the TDF. I notice he hasn't applied his graphics yet either, but we'll get there. So essentially everyone's looking to apply numbers like this. So this is number 19. They're in no particular order yet. When we line up on the starting grid, they will be in car order. We are number 50. I quite like that rounded number. But the amount of cars, look, this goes all the way down there, stretches all the way down. One car I particularly like, which surprisingly is from the UK, is this incredibly boldly specced Portofino. How cool is that? Really, from the UK, we rarely see cars specced this awesome, so I think it's very, very cool to see this here. Looking forward to meeting that guy, because he looks like a lot of fun, and I'll share more in-depth specs of cars with you as the week unfolds. I am here for 5 days. The Targa Florio is 4 of those. And I'm just going to pause mid-sentence while we appreciate the awesomeness of the Pista Spider. Look at the sculpture on this thing, it's absolutely stunning. He as well hasn't got round to applying his numbers yet. Registration day is officially today. However, I did manage to squeeze in mine last night, so I don't have to queue up and get involved in the mass scramble that is sign-on day. And here we are. Here's my TDF. It's so weird seeing something so familiar so far from home. Huck's on camera. I'll introduce him once we get in the car, but for now I need an extra pair of hands to walk you around this. Now, one of the things which I haven't shared yet, listen, I've done my fair share of rallies, and I know there's a lot of paperwork involved. For the Targa Florio, and I will share the document with you so you don't think I'm exaggerating, I actually had to do, yes, I had to do a medical and specifically an ECG. Literally, I had to get checked that I wasn't going to like pass out at the wheel in order to enter this rally, which is absolutely crazy. But lo and behold, when I got here, they checked and they were really strict about actually making sure I'd had that done. Also, just before that, come and check out this, the amount of swag we've got. We've got hats and jackets, and this is going to be Huck's best friend because we've got a road book here, which is like organic sat-nav. So if we get lost, it's Huck's fault. So that's all of the stuff we've got. Now we're able to actually sticker up. Now, despite the fact that I own a company which applies paint protection film and graphics to a car, I don't do that. So this is going to be really interesting to see if I'm able to make this look half decent. I reckon we start with the front first, although there's like lots of dead bugs and stuff all over it. I did wonder why they gave us this stuff. So part of the swag bag is cleaning kit and cloth, convenient for applying decals, stickers, whatever. Right. This feels like I'm gonna really mess this up. I'm trying to remember how we do it at MBN. I think the trick has always been to apply the top of the decal before you've taken off the backing plate, and you sort of apply pressure as the backing plate is coming off, so effectively not to get too much air under it. I am waffling on as if I know what I'm talking about, but that's from what I've seen and for how this is going so far. It looks promising. I'm not going to front and pretend that I knew that was going to happen. I'm absolutely shocked I've managed to do that with no problems. This isn't going to be as easy. We've got a severely contoured door here. If all else fails, I can get a job at MBN. Alright, so we're finally out of the registration zone for Targa Florio. The closest driving experience I've had to driving in Palermo was Istanbul, which I imagined what it might be like driving in like Delhi or something like that. It is literally each man for himself, and each moped for himself, and occasionally, without joking, each horse for himself. I've seen the odd horse on the road out here. And as you're driving along, you get these very different smells. Sometimes it's a, is that a red light? Yes, it is. Sometimes there's this sort of barbecue set up on the side of the road, and then you'll have Mediterranean coastline smell, all mixed within the same 10 seconds. It's quite a diverse environment, but calm it is not. Anything but calm this place is not. It's hectic. You really got to watch out for the mopeds as well. These guys, they treat the entire piece of tarmac as their own. They don't have any lanes. They just sort of duck and dive and go up the curb and then down again. So I've got to tell you, I've got a bit of a sweaty palm moment getting out of here in this car. It's not the smallest of cars. And the road surface is a little bit slippy. If anything was to summarize the driving here, it's the side of that guy's car. Look at it. That's pretty much every car here. They like to swap paint. I'm not sure if it's like a cultural thing, but everyone's up to it. Oh, a tunnel. We have a tunnel. That sound's not gonna get old, is it? What a machine! So, been out on the road for about an hour's drive outside of Palermo. I'd love to tell you what incredibly beautiful little town we're in. We are in the square of a place. Have you ever, any of you guys ever played Uncharted? I say this quite a lot on my travels. I'll end up in completely random little villages at the top of a mountain somewhere. That's exactly where I am right now. The top of a mountain, random mountain outside of Palermo. And we've managed to get this backdrop here. Huck is doing his thing, getting shots, but this, when I referenced Uncharted earlier, that is a straight screenshot out of Uncharted, only with a TDF spliced into it. Look at the character of this place. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so Huck's here. Actually, you haven't said hello yet, Huck. How's it going?
Hi.
All good? We had some gumball adventures together this year and last year, and he absolutely nailed the social media content this year on Gumball. Well done. So I thought I'd steal him. And now here he is. So go on to my Instagram and also Huck's. I'll put a link below to his content, because the things he does with that machine is like magic. So hopefully that's going to look as good as this looks in real life. So yeah, be sure to hop over to my Instagram for shots like this, and then when the new MrJWW.com website launches, you'll be able to download these as wallpapers, which I'm extremely excited about. Just talking that we forgot some essentials. I think I'm running low on toothpaste, and by the smell of Huck, he definitely forgot his deodorant. But conveniently, we have ourselves a sort of rickshaw supermarket type of thing, right? How would you begin to describe that, Huck?
I'm not really sure. He's just making it up as he goes along. I think he's actually just moving house.
There is some shampoo bottom right there. There's definitely something there. Also, every time he accelerates, there's so much weight disproportionately allocated at the back of the vehicle. I'm afraid he's going to flip over on top of me. Also, check out the wobble on his back left wheel there. That is some strain. He's got it going on. So yeah, if you've forgotten anything, now's the time. Okay, so this looks like Tributo parking here for sure. Hey, look at this. This is cool. So this is the first time that I've seen all of the Ferraris in one spot. Look at the Gulf Blue on that Speciale Aperta. How cool is that? So in terms of us parking, do you think I can just wedge it in there? Or in the middle? There? The guy saying, "Un momento." See? Okay, back from our little run to the hills, which yielded some stunning photography. Can't wait to share that shortly. I got a quick glimpse earlier of this Gulf Blue Speciale Aperta, but what I didn't do is get up close. Look at this. Also, I quite like that he's gone for the navy blue brake calipers. That's pretty gorgeous. And central cap in carbon fiber. Look at that. Yeah, what a wonderful spec. So this is the eclectic set of cars which ultimately makes up the Targa Florio. These two car parks, the one here and there's one just on the other side there, which I shall share with you shortly, is the Targa Florio Tribute. So that is effectively the modern day cars which are still taking part in the Targa Florio, but because they're not of period, they are classed as a tribute act, as it were. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not often that you get to be on a rally where you got an Enzo there and your own car just there. Very special times. Yeah, what are the chances of these guys being friends? Because we've got 52, 53 and 54 are all Speciale Apertas. And just one more thing, there's only 499 Speciale Apertas in the world, and there's 3 here and 1 black one on the end there. So that just kind of highlights how special this event is. So here is Carpark Number Two. So it actually seems that the tribute side of the event is larger than the classic side of the event. Having said that, how cool is that? So yeah, let's go all the way down. They are in numerical order. Let's go down and see what car number 1 is. So far, the only real big boy car that I've seen is the Enzo. There's plenty of Pistas. And then of course down here, there are Pista Pilatas. So these were strictly by invite only. these cars. The livery applied on them was to celebrate Ferrari's success in the World Endurance Championship, and only if you take part in one of Ferrari's racing series do you get an invite to get a pista with that livery pack on it. So these are pretty rare. As it happens, number 1 is not here. So what is it? I'm kind of hoping for a La Ferrari or something. We've got 2 and 3, both are pista Pilottis. I wonder what number 1 will be.
Welcome to Palermo, ai concorrenti della Targa Florio classica e ai concorrenti del Ferrari Tribute. The Sicily and a good competition and good luck. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the introduction. That's the mandatory briefing that we've had to do for the Targa Florio. We've just had our route book revisions. So the guys in charge of the Targa Florio effectively go and do the route plan, they print it into a book, and then just ahead of schedule things change. So they give you a route book revision guide that we have to adapt. Now I've just found out that we're in fact doing a leg of the rally tonight, to go back to where we started this morning, hence me being stood on the start. Behind us we've just had 2 V12 starts up, resonating the sound of Italy through this incredible square. And I don't actually go for another hour. Being car number 50, we're approaching car number 1 down here. I also have a feeling that some of the classics might go first, but considering we are on the Targa Tribute, I shall be focusing on the modern day cars. And here's a word from my co-driver.
I don't have a clue what I'm doing.
Actually had a moment. I just had a bit of a self-contextualizing moment. About 4 years ago, before I picked up a camera and started YouTube, I was working a pretty boring job, and back then the thought of about to cross the starting line of the Targa Florio in my own car was, I can't even begin to tell you how much of a dream that was. So to be here now, and importantly share it with you, is massive. But ultimately, it's thanks to you guys watching and supporting this channel that this journey keeps going. So you're an audience of self-perpetuating awesomeness. So thank you very much for watching and getting us this far. This is massive. Where the F12 is in front, we're going to be up there in a minute. Looks like we're going to be on TV for a brief moment of time as the car goes across. If we go onto the podium, this is pretty crazy stuff. That is mad. Grazie mille. So in a minute he's going to wave that flag and we're going to go. That is our time to go. And then we are officially on the Targa Florio, which is mad. Grazie mille. Definitely. Great. Yeah. You can take the boy out of gumball. We can't take gumball out of the boy. So what's great about being part of the official rally that races through effectively an entire country is that the police get involved and they become your best friend. So that blue flashing light up front is actually our own police escort, and he parts the traffic somewhat like the Red Sea. It's an amazing feeling. Oh, the overrun on this is amazing. How cool is this to have our own escort? It's the wildest thing. Yeah, the V12 horn is much better than the normal horn. So this is the normal horn, and this is the V12 horn. Yes. No guesses for which one clears the traffic better. And now we're off to somewhat of a banquet. It's the sort of opening ball, as it were. Not sure if we're going to be allowed to film in there or not. If we are, obviously we'll take you along for the ride. If not, see you tomorrow. Wow, this place is unbelievable. So I got to stop filming quite soon. This is what's known as the Damien Hirst room in this incredible mansion. Reason being that the butterfly installations on the wall here, these are all Damien Hirst's works of art. It's unbelievable, this room. Incredible. And this is where the banquet is taking place. On the first night of the Targa Florio, it's getting pretty crowded. I'm just going to step outside so I can sign off to you guys, because that would be rude otherwise. I'll also show you the, well, let me point you over here. I mean, this is the sort of entrance hall of this mansion. We don't know who owns this place. It's privately owned, and it's been very kindly opened up to us for this evening so that Ferrari can have this opening banquet for us. So very cool indeed. Anyway, this is the prologue, really. This is day one, technically, but we're going to be taking you along for the real Targa Florio tomorrow for the next few days. So very exciting stuff. And then ultimately, I'm going to be going volcano hunting in the TDF because, of course, Sicily is home to Mount Etna, which erupted 3 weeks ago. So we're going to go and see if we can find the freshest lava we can. On that note, thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ciao.